Hello, and welcome to today's live conversation with one of our speakers from the Women Thrive Summit. Today, I am very excited to welcome Keely Pierce. Hi, Keely. How are you?
Good morning. I'm very well, thank you. Really good.
Where are you
Very.
joining from?
I'm down in Devon in the UK, so full of beaches and usual sunshine, although the sun's lacking at the moment. But yeah, nice little
Don't worry.
southern part of the UK.
Don't worry. I will bring all the sunshine from Spain. I can't wait to visit back in the UK. But Keely, today's conversation is very important, especially for ladies who are mompreneurs and women who have families, children. I think this conversation and behind the scenes, we already begun this conversation with Keely talking about something quite fun. So I think that you will want to stick around. If you're watching this live right now, watching on replay, I want you to leave in the comments below and let us know where you're watching from. And if you have not met Keely Pierce, I'd love for you to get to know her. So she's the founder and CEO of I Am More Academy. She's an award-winning empowerment coach and transformational guide dedicated to helping mompreneurs discover their unique balance blueprint. So with over 14 years of experience, Keely's transformative MAP framework empowers mompreneurs to redefine success on their own terms and thrive in harmony. Keely, I'm so pleased that we are having this conversation today.
Me too. Me too. It's so important. And I think even like being defined as a mumpreneur, what even is that? Kind of, I think being a mum with no business is being a mumpreneur because the juggle is real.
Wow.
Definitely real.
Yeah, we have to wear so many hats, and I know you talk about this quite a lot, Keely, about moms having to wear all sorts of hats throughout our days.
Yeah, like even this morning, I had a podcast in Australia. So doing the school run, the time zone differences, it's like making sure everyone's out the house. And 1 minute, I'm literally pushing them out the door and saying, going to school and nursery. The next, I'm like, okay, business, like, whew, calm down, take a breather, like prime myself for being in my mum head no more and totally rocking the business life. So yeah, it literally is a revolving door of changing your identity to fit the different needs, isn't it? Each day.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about your story, Keely, so our audience get to learn about you.
So, a little bit about me. So, in a nutshell, my childhood was very interesting. Interesting because my mum was actually a drug addict. So, from a very young age, I've just had to wear a very sensible hat. And that hat kind of remained where the childhood experience was kind of very grown up. And I think from a very young age, that just made me really resilient to a lot of things. And it also give me the strength to know that I could achieve anything I wanted to, because I just knew that that wasn't what I wanted to provide for my family in the future. Now, don't get me wrong, back then I thought I wanted 5 children until I had one. And then I was like, I'll settle with two. Two is enough. And even that, I left a 10-year gap. But anyway, so yeah, the kind of strength and resilience and tenacity that my upbringing gave me just propelled me on a journey where it was like, I don't really know what I want, but I'll get what I want somehow. And it was kind of just propelled me into the world of hospitality. And then everything I've kind of done has all been a little bit accidental. And I think that's where, for me, those sliding doors moments are really, really important. And when I say sliding door moments, I mean that moment where you could literally have a singular conversation and then all of a sudden you're on a new trajectory. You're on a new path that you didn't even know existed. And I kind of have the motto of say yes and work it out after. And that has just been everything I've accidentally fell into. I fell into being a licensee and running a pub restaurant. I fell into doing my degree accidentally. I fell into then network marketing, which gave me the sliding doors moment to create I Am More Academy. So everything has just been this journey of who knows, but I'll find out and find my way there. And I feel like now at the age of 35, I've found my why. I found my purpose, because everything I do and the work that I do doesn't feel like work. It literally does not feel like work. It just fills me up so, so much. And I think that's why I'm so passionate about the Mumpreneur's journey, because I literally am the lived experience and push for everything, life balance, success, and self-mastery, because that's just me in a nutshell.
Oh, I love that. So tell me more about the mission behind I Am More Academy.
Oh, okay. So it goes back to another sliding doors moment. So I ended up on a personal development journey many, many years ago, nearly 15 years ago now. And that literally took me around the world, all sorts of places. And for anybody watching, I don't know if you know the personal development coach, Tony Robbins. Big American chap, very, very deep voice. And I went to one of his conferences, and it was a weekend conference. And I'd done the fire walk and everything. I think it's Unleash Your Power or something.
Yeah.
And in that moment, you write loads of notes, you take like all of this amazing stuff. And I didn't actually find this one particular note until maybe 3 years ago. And I was scrolling through my phone and I just found it. And this note said, "My mission in life is to help a child like me to know that they are enough and they can do anything they want to do. And if I don't, then that's thousands of lost souls." Because I can understand that not everyone had a drug addict as a parent, but we all go through traumas of some description. We can all relate to something of a time where life could have been
Mm.
better. And for me, in that moment, I just knew that I needed to take all of this knowledge and love and passion and everything and channel that into helping and supporting others. So that's kind of how my business become what it is.
Wow. And now you help children or more families.
Both. So sometimes I literally feel like I'm wearing two hats, as in young adults in one and mumpreneurs in the other. So the business split in two ways, because a lot of the work that I do as well is going into schools. So schools employ me, whether that's as like a one-off session to go in and work with a class, or it could be an entire year group, assemblies. And some schools actually book me for like the whole academic year. So they give me a small group of students that they feel would benefit from the life skills, from my story, from everything that I give. And that's just astounding. Like, that is the most phenomenal kind of feeling ever, when you get a young adult come up to you and say they can relate to your story, or, you know, they don't always go into detail, but you know that they're experienced troubles at home. And I just feel like that work, if you can come in earlier and just give somebody that hope that it doesn't have to be the same of what they're experiencing now, then how many adults would feel a whole lot better than they do now? Instead of us going in and like fixing, quote unquote, the adults that feel a little bit broken right now because of their childhood experiences,
Mhm.
to go in and support those young adults is just amazing. I love it.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Keely. And when we do get to share our stories, we allow other people realize that they're not alone, and that a lot of times, I'm sure you must have felt feeling really lonely in your journey in your childhood.
Even as an adult, sometimes,
Yeah.
sometimes as an adult, I think, am I the black sheep of the family? Was I like, in the wrong bed when they took me home? Like, am I even part of this family? Kind of, I just feel like I'm on a whole different journey. But at the same time, it's took a lot of personal development and self-mastery myself to get to this stage. There's kind of a
Mm.
lot of shame and guilt that's held around different things that we experience in our life. And for me, self-mastery is an ongoing thing, that never stops. I imagine when I'm still 70 or 80, I'll still be learning and listening to podcasts and going to conferences and all sorts of things, because our identity changes constantly. We're
Mm.
never the person we were yesterday, even, the day is gone, and it's forever learning.
Yeah. Oh, I love the comments. Keep those comments coming in. Um, One of our listeners says, "Keely, you're an incredible role model to so many people, and you're such a gift in this world." So appreciate that.
Thank you.
Keely, let's talk a little bit more about the life balance. So I know this is something that you mastering and help others master as well, especially for our moms who might be watching this. What does it really take?
Oh, everything. It takes everything. I think without life balance of some description, and don't get me wrong, when you're a mum or you're even in a job, let alone running a business, the chaos is real. I don't think you could ever get rid of the chaos. And sometimes it's learning to thrive in that chaos. And the
Yeah.
life balance for me, becoming a mum and having a business, I'm still Keely, still me. And I really think it's important that, we could say to include self-care, but define self-care.
Mm.
It's so different for so many people. And for me, having a warm bath and being able to just take 5 minutes is not enough. I want that as standard. That is not enough. But I know it takes a tribe to bring up children and to run a business. And as much as I don't have that family support, it's very much just me and my partner, just that is it. We work it between us quite well. So with us, we have a really nice understanding that he loves golf. I really don't. I love dance. He really doesn't. I can drag him kicking and screaming, and he's like, he'll get involved, but he just doesn't quite let go on the dancing front. So for us, that is our thing, and that is my downtime. So even this weekend just gone, I went away for a weekend and I just danced. There was some alcohol involved, but I just danced, and I know that the children are safe. I know that they're happy. They're absolutely wrapping daddy around their finger. So they're getting everything they want and more. And I could just switch off. And
Yeah.
it's so important for me that it's in the diary, because life is busy. And whether we're, the hat of being on the football pitch or at the different kind of school events and all the different things, if it's not in the diary, it will never happen. So I would invite anybody to schedule that time. And I don't mean like once a quarter. Go in at once a month and build up on that. Take some time to just be you and do the things that you
Mhm.
enjoy. And being in the diary is like key, because if it's in there, I'm like, oh, sorry, I've got me time. That's my time. Boundaries.
I love it. How have you been able to really step into creating those boundaries? Because I know sometimes we just give, and we leave ourselves last, especially as moms. How have you been able to straight away to say, okay, did it take you getting there, or did you feel like, okay, this is how I envision having, my life?
I think knowing where you need boundaries is sometimes the hardest part, because you're
Mm.
so involved and busy, and you just don't see sometimes that people can take advantage of you. And it's not always taking advantage, don't get me wrong, but those boundaries for me. So my mum, now we don't have a relationship. She's got quite bad mental health problems, and unfortunately for me, she takes it out on me. So I
Mm.
think sometimes the easiest way for me to explain a boundary is knowing that your mum, you're meant to love, you're meant to allow to kind of, be that dominant figure in your life. You're meant to, kind of bow with respect to your mum. But at the same time, I use my mum as an example to my child that in life, when you don't feel okay or something in your tummy just doesn't quite feel right, listen to it, because sometimes
Mm.
that's telling you the bigger picture. You don't always have a coach or a mentor or somebody beside you that can highlight things to you. And I don't think we always listen to our friends, to be quite honest. I think it has to come from a respectful place. And
Mm.
for me, I had the conversation literally at the weekend with my daughter. She's having some problems with friends. And I'm like, but that's a boundary. And that's so needed. And with kind of friends, kind of saying no is so hard sometimes, because you feel like you're not being a good friend. But sometimes you need to say no for yourself. And so sometimes it is a case of just listening to that intuition and that gut. And if that doesn't
Mm.
quite feel right, I say make an excuse, but like, you don't have to say you're washing your hair or say no because that doesn't feel right. You could just say, I'm really busy right now. Let me just check my diary and I'll get back to you. Because 9 times out of 10, when people are taking advantage or, kind of isn't necessarily healthy, they want you there and then. They're probably
Yeah.
not going to come back and ask again. So sometimes if you just give yourself and allow yourself some space, you can sit back and look at the bigger picture from a detached place.
Wow, this is so powerful. Keely, you will be delivering a talk at the Women Thrive Summit in March. I wanted to find out a little bit more about your talk and what people can expect.
Oh, yes, it's coming around so fast, so fast. So next Thursday, which is the 21st of March at 10 a.m., I will be jumping on live to share with you in lots more detail, more about my Mumpreneurs journey. more about life balance, success, and self mastery. And with that, I have created a little gift for anyone who jumps on or anyone listening now. And that is the life mastery evaluation. And it's really simple. It's not going to take loads of time, but it's 2 tools for you to just look at and instantly know where you either need boundaries, where you either need some help with your success or defining what that success looks like, and for you to acknowledge where you are on that self mastery journey right now. So the talk will be a little more about me, a little more about my journey and how I've kind of become to this point of success in my life and
Mm.
how I can support you with that.
Yeah, beautiful. I think we all need some more tools and in our back pocket to say, hey, this is how I want to live my life, or boundaries. It's just so important. And I can recall my own life because I was a stepmom at some point in my life, and I can certainly feel where I was like, okay, well, maybe I wasn't building those boundaries around what my needs were. And like I said, we just give, 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 but a lot of times we don't serve ourselves, and if you don't serve yourself, there's nothing there's no cup to serve from. So that is super important. Keely, I'm looking forward to your talk, and for those of you who may have not saved your spot, joined us for the Women Thrive Summit coming up 18th to the 22nd of March. And Keely will be talking next Thursday on the 21st. So make sure you register for your free spot. Be there live. You get to connect with all of our amazing speakers virtually and live. You get to interact with them, watch their talks, be inspired, empowered, motivated, and probably transformed throughout this journey. And we have been certainly preparing some really amazing talks for you, and also lots of amazing resources and gifts. So make sure you save your spot today. Keely, how can people connect with you beyond this conversation today?
I think for anybody that uses Instagram, you can find me over there. So I am more coach is my Instagram. Or if anybody's on LinkedIn, I quite like the platform. I've become friends with the platform. So I built a new connection with LinkedIn, and I'm spending a bit more time on there too. So they're the probably 2 platforms you can find me.
Yeah, I love that. And here we have a beautiful comment. I love how you show that you matter too. And that is important for you to do things that light up your soul, dancing all weekend.
Yeah.
We
So
got to find out more about this weekend. I was stalking you behind the scenes. I was like, go you, Keely. I am loving this side of Keely for sure.
yeah, I think when you dance, there's just something therapeutic about music, isn't there? And like when I go into schools and speak to the kids, I'm like, if you're feeling down, put on some like really upbeat music. And for me, when I was a young girl growing up, I was introduced to happy hardcore. And so for me, as much as I don't listen to it, one, it probably takes me back to a happy time, and two, you cannot feel down or sad or cry listening to happy hardcore. It is so fast and upbeat. Like you cannot be sad. So that is my go-to when I just want to completely change my state and prime myself into like a different mood. I just whack on the really fast happy hardcore and just kind of take a minute to have a breather.
I love that. Keely, I can't go away without talking about some other important work that you're doing in this world, which is your charity and your mission to support families.
Thank you, Ray. Yes. So um, I'm definitely a multi-entrepreneur, should we say, over the years. For sure. I've always got my fingers in little pies kind of going on. And over the last 8 years, or coming up to 9 years,
Mm.
I basically met a lady who shared her story about miscarriage, and she'd lost 7 babies. And she wanted to create a business where she could just make a change for those families that they didn't have to experience what she did. Not the loss, but the care and the environment and the situations that she was in during those losses. And I sat in the room and I just thought, why do you need to build a business to do that? Like, I just couldn't quite understand. I was like, there's got to be another way. And so we went for a Costa coffee, sat down, and in that moment, the Last Kiss Foundation was born. And I just knew that we could make a change, we could do something. And so the Last Kiss is literally run by 2 of us, and we're just 2 mums who give a little bit back and do what we can. but it's really progressed over the years. It's really like thrived. And so we've gone into hospitals, we do training with midwives. So it's more on a reflective practice training. So it's not telling them how to like deal with the bereavement or anything, but it's about understanding them as humans too. You know, it's a very traumatic experience for those midwives also. So we go
Mm.
in and we do training with the midwives. We go in and we provide equipment, resources, like whatever it is that they need, we'll get the funds in to do that. And it's just been amazing. It's been amazing to make such an impact. And with the Last Kiss Foundation, we see it as giving the gift of time, allowing families that time to say goodbye, which is why the Last Kiss was named the Last Kiss ultimately. And myself, I've had 2 miscarriages, and you know, I think there's a whole taboo around losing a baby, around understanding, you know, for mums, it can literally be never mentioned, other than, you
Mhm.
know, maybe between themselves and their partner. And the statistics is like 1 in 4 women haven't experienced a miscarriage.
Wow.
It's, you know, it's so common, but it's uncommon to talk about. And it doesn't mean, you know, even literally last night I was talking to my partner about it, and we were discussing how when I was pregnant with my daughter, basically he detaches from the idea that it's a baby until he sees a baby. Does that make sense? Kind of that's a trauma response for him. Um, but for me, the moment you wee on a stick, that's I'm pregnant. I'm already envisaging like the future. I'm already putting that child in school, you know, kind of in my head, all of these different things. And you have this vision for what's coming, regardless of what stage of pregnancy you're at. And I think giving space and time for parents and mums to be able to express that and be okay with that is so important.
Mhm. Beautiful. That is such an important work, and I think it's so needed. And because it doesn't mean that the medical staff are trained, and there's so many emotions that is happening around. If you lose your little one, it's just heartbreaking, and I think there's more support needed. So I really commend what you're doing, and the stats are incredible. 1 in 4 women go through something like this. So I really take my hat off to you for doing this work on the ground.
Thank you. And we've just had new developments. So I think statistically, 1 in every 29 children across the UK in a classroom has experienced bereavement or loss in some capacity. And we've
Mm.
just formulated a new training to take this into schools. So, you know, it's not just the adults. And I suppose that's wearing those 2 hats again, you know, working with the mumpreneurs, but also working with the young adults. And it's holding space and being able to openly talk about these conversations is so important. So yeah,
Yeah.
the new developments there are really exciting because it's not in the curriculum. They don't have anything about bereavement or loss. And you know, bereavement doesn't have to be, or grief doesn't have to be when someone literally passes away. You know, it's crazy. We could change schools and feel a whole lot of bereavement through that. So
Yeah.
it's a ripple effect of change that's coming. So I'm really thankful for my time with the Last Kiss Foundation.
Amazing. Keely, thank you so much. I'm very excited about you speaking on our summit and delivering your incredible talk. I love that what you champion, you actually lead by example, and have been really incredible for you for us to connect throughout this last year.
Thank you. It's been great. It's been a fantastic experience, and yeah, I'll be a bit sad come kind of post summit. It's like, oh, what do I do with my time now? It's like all the amazing connections with the ladies, and there's just so much more to it. So yeah, thank you for everything you've created, Ray.
Thank you. It's just getting started for our attendees. So make sure you head over to womenthrivesummit.com, register for your spot. Be there. There are going to be so many amazing connections, so many women from all around joining this incredible event to talk about women empowerment, business leadership, confidence, mompreneurship, and so many other topics that we women need in order to rise and thrive. And you'll get to hear personal stories of our speakers that I'm sure is going to connect with you beyond just the surface. So head over and do that now. And if you feel inspired by this conversation, make sure you share it to your own social media followers, because you never know who might be needing to hear this conversation. I want to say thanks to our speaker, Keely, and I hope that you connect with her and also follow the Last Kiss Foundation, or consider supporting. Thank you all so much, and we look forward to seeing you on another live. Bye.
Thank you.